Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'll start this video by saying self-care is not selfish. It's a loving act for your family. Welcome to the month of February, where we'll be talking about holistic wellness and balance in the home. So today we'll be talking about self-care, what self-care really is, why you should prioritize self-care in your home for a truly strong and beautiful family. My name is Olufumi Odumuagu, and I am passionate about building strong and beautiful families because I believe that the family is the bedrock for a good and a beautiful society. So let's get started. So what is self-care? Self-care is a practice that involves prioritizing activities that focus on your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, your mental and your spiritual well-being. Self-care is not overindulging yourself in laziness and in unhealthy habits like overeating, junk eating, and the likes. I've seen lots of people talk about self-care, and what they are talking about is overindulgence in unhealthy habits. So in this video, I will tailor self-care into 5 key elements. But before I go into the 5 key elements of self-care, I would like to talk about the benefits of self-care. So the first benefit of self-care is being physically healthy is required for you to maintain a good and happy home. For you to be physically present, first of all, to be alive, you need to prioritize your health. It is only someone who is healthy, who is alive, who is not on the hospital, that can be a good spouse or a good parent. So it is necessary and important that you prioritize your physical health. The second benefit is that it is only someone who is mentally stable and available that can parent properly. You need to be mentally stable for you to be able to build a good home. The third reason why you should prioritize self-care is because for you to even have beautiful relationships in the first place, you need to be emotionally intelligent. And it is only someone who is in a good position, who has a good state of mind, that can be emotionally intelligent. Also, my fourth reason, you need self-care because it is only someone who is in their right frame of mind spiritually and in all sense that can guide other people or even apply wisdom to day-to-day activities like problem solving and lots of things that come up in the home. The fifth reason why you need self-care is because you can't run on an empty tank for you to be able to fulfill all the purposes that God has placed in your hands. So let's get to the 5 key elements of self-care. The first is your physical health. What are practices that you can do to ensure that you are physically fit and you are prioritizing yourself physically? Like I said earlier, overindulgence in bad habits is not self-care. So my first tip for physical self-care is rest and sleep. Human beings need approximately 7 to 9 hours of sleep daily to be able to function properly. Maybe some people need lesser and some even more, but it's important to know yourself, your needs, and make sure that you are getting enough sleep on a daily. So one example of bad self-care is watching movies into the night and claiming that you are spoiling yourself while you are actually starving yourself of good night's sleep. So if you really want to prioritize self-care, you need to sleep at the right time and have the correct duration of sleep on a daily basis, or at least almost every day. The second habit for physical self-care is proper nutrition. You need to eat balanced diet, prioritize eating properly, have a good food timetable that includes all classes of food. Don't eat junks and call that self-care, because if you eat junks, it will come back to haunt you later by the time your health starts failing. Prioritize eating well. There are lots of good food, balanced diets that you can actually enjoy. You can spice up healthy food options instead of eating junks or eating things that are inappropriate. The third physical self-care is exercise. Do not live a sedentary lifestyle. Stop sitting down all day. Make sure that you are always moving yourself. Make sure that you are exercising daily. put exercises into your routines. And even if you cannot do the routine specialized workouts, make sure that you are walking, climbing stairs, doing things that will keep your heart beating properly and help you to be fit. The fourth physical self-care tip is hydrate yourself. Drink water all day. Try to create that habit of drinking more water than you do. On a daily, try to drink at least 2 liters of water. Get enough water, and if you can drink more, that will be fine. But make sure that you are well hydrated. That is physical self-care. And the fifth physical self-care tip I'll say is look good, wear good clothes. Make sure that you are constantly taking good care of your own self. Don't be caught up with taking care of other people while you neglect yourself. There are some of us who buy clothes for our children but never buy clothes for ourselves. Try to buy good clothes for yourself, wear good clothes, wear nice perfumes, use deodorants, and make sure that you are feeling good and smelling good all day. The second key element of self-care I'll be talking about is your emotional self-care. And emotional self-care is basically prioritizing activities that help your emotions. And the first of that is journaling. Learn to write your thoughts, learn to write how your day went, learn to write your feelings, learn to be grateful daily. Keep a gratitude journal, or in your journal have a section where you talk about things that you are grateful for every day. And you see that just being thoughtful and mindful of positive things that are going on in your life can help your emotional well-being. The second tip for emotional self-care is relaxation. Try to relax daily. Make sure that in your work or in your day-to-day activity, you create time for rest. Don't just work all day. When you're creating your schedules, try to put breaks in between. So maybe you want to cook. Don't just say after cooking, then I'm going to read. Create space for relaxation. Be deliberate about putting space for relaxation when you're creating your daily schedules. The third tip for your emotional self-care is learn to set boundaries. Stop saying yes to everything and everybody. When people ask you to do things for them, if you are not able to accommodate it genuinely, please say no. It's not every time that you say yes to people. Learn to say no so that you can empower your yes. Saying no to people is not a sign of weakness or wickedness. It is you understanding yourself. So when people make requests, think about it properly. Don't jump on every request. If you are able to do it, then take it on. If you are able to do it at a later time, then tell them that you will do it for them later. Stop jumping on every request. You're going to wear yourself out. My fourth tip for emotional self-care is therapy and counseling sessions. Please, anytime you are overwhelmed, don't just keep to yourself. Don't start overindulging and overeating or getting yourself into deeper depression. Instead, speak up. Speak with a friend who might be able to listen or counsel you. Speak with your pastor. Speak with your teammate at work. Someone that you trust, that you know can listen to you well. Please do not keep quiet and get overwhelmed in silence. My fifth tip for emotional self-care is praying and meditation. When you pray, you rejuvenate your spirit, your soul, and your body. Create time to pray every day. Put it in your routines. Don't say I'm too busy. Don't be too busy to pray, because when you break down, you won't be too busy to be depressed. So create time to pray in your routines, and that way you can recharge your emotions, your spirit, soul, and body. And that takes me to the third key element of self-care, which is spiritual self-care. Like I said in the last point under emotional self-care, spiritual self-care is very important for your total well-being. And how can you care for yourself spiritually? Do devotionals. Remember Jesus. Jesus, who is the Son of God, despite his busy schedules when he was alive, would usually take time out and go to the mountains early in the morning to just pray and spend time with God. Try to create time in your day. Look for that space in your day where you can spend time on devotionals. Create time to pray, read your Bible, and do your devotionals. We call it quiet time. Do your quiet time to recharge from God. It is very important and necessary for your mental health and for your well-being. The second tip for spiritual self-care is fellowshipping with others. Bible says, don't forsake the gathering of the brethren. Try to fellowship with others, go to church. That way you find out that you are recharging your spirit. And if you're not a Christian, if you practice other religions, go to places of worship, interact with other people of like minds and values, and you find out that way that you would recharge yourself routinely. My third tip for spiritual self-care is service. Humans are made to serve others. God has not created us to be in isolation. Find out things that you can do to help other people. Volunteer in your church, volunteer in your local government, volunteer in your children's school, volunteer at your workplace to do something that will better humanity. Serving others will definitely help you to foster your mental and emotional well-being. It will make you a better person and feel better, and that makes it an important aspect of self-care. My fifth tip for spiritual self-care is reflection. Learn to reflect regularly on the word of God, on your behavior, on life generally. Don't just live life without reflecting on a day-to-day on things that you can do better, how you can serve better, how you can be better for your children, your spouse, and other people in the society. The fourth key element of self-care is social self-care. And the first tip for social self-care is build meaningful connections with other people. Like I said earlier, humans are not built to function in isolation. Try to make friends with people. Be a friendly person. If you want people to be friendly to you, you too be friendly with other people. Make deliberate efforts to smile at people. I remember my secondary school principal would always say, be a blessing to someone today. So try and make sure that every day you are a blessing to someone. It's not even so much about giving money or anything. A smile at other people would go a long way. A wave, a greeting, a how are you doing will go a long way to make other people feel better. Doing this routinely will help you build meaningful connections with other people and foster your social well-being. The second tip for social self-care is building support networks for yourself. What I mean by this is, as a human, you need people that will always encourage you when you are down. Honestly, life comes with a lot of baggages already. There is no how you will not be down some days. And just building support networks help you to have people who would uplift you, who will always say positive things to you and help you to get out of a mess or depression anytime you fall into one. So it is important that today you actively build support networks. Think about it. Who are the 2-3 people that you can call when you are down? Pen them down and make sure that you build connections with them when you are not yet down. This is not selfishness. This is supporting yourself and self-care. This way, when you are down, you have people to lift you up. Bible says, woe to a man who is alone, because when he falls, there will be no one to lift him up. So as a way of supporting yourself or self-caring, make sure that you build support systems for yourself. My third tip for social self-care is planning activities that foster bonding and connections with other people. So you can plan picnics, go out with your friends, families, children, loved ones, on a routine. Make sure that you are deliberate about activities that will help your social skills and build your connection with other people. The fifth key element of self-care is professional self-care. And one of the ways of caring for yourself professionally is understanding work-life balance. Make sure that you set boundaries that ensure that you create time for things that matter the most in your life. Stop burying yourself entirely in work. Balance your life, be involved with your family and friends, not just work and work all the time. The second thing for professional self-care is build your skills. Don't just remain the same way professionally. Don't stay at that job the way you entered the job. Building your skills helps to improve your well-being generally. Learn how to communicate better with your colleagues. Learn a skill that will enhance your performance at work, and any other skill that will generally help you in life. Build skills that will help you professionally. And the third tip for professional self-care is take breaks at work regularly. Like I mentioned earlier, in your day-to-day routine, even while at work, take breaks. Take mental breaks. Don't just work 8 hours straight. Make sure that routinely you take a break, stop, rest your wrist if you are always using the mouse. Take a toilet break, go to the bathroom, stretch your legs. Don't just walk straight 8 hours or many hours without taking breaks routinely. So I would end this by talking about tips for sustainable self-care. Like I said earlier, self-care is for you and is a loving act for your family and for your friends and all the people around you. But if you're not deliberate about it, if you do not know how to do this, you just find out that you say self-care, and you are actually back to self-neglect again and again. So my first tip for building sustainable self-care habits is being deliberate and setting out time for self-care. Like I used to say, journal every day. And when you're journaling, one of the things I recommend during journaling is planning your day ahead. When you plan your day, maybe you plan the next day ahead of time, make sure that you schedule time for self-care. Like I said earlier, don't just have this mental picture about self-care. Actually be deliberate. Write it out. I'm going to rest at this time. I'm going to take a break at this time. Make sure that you incorporate it into your daily goals and your daily plan. Another way of being deliberate is setting out a day for monthly self-care or routine self-care or weekly self-care. If there are ways you want to pamper yourself every week, make sure that you set out a day for it. For example, you can choose a day in the month, say 29th of every month. I am going to take myself out, or I'm going to relax, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. Just set out time routinely to make sure that you are deliberate about self-care. The second tip is starting small. Don't try to do all of this together in one day and overwhelm yourself. Pick one or two activities that I have mentioned and start to do them consistently. And with time, you can build on these habits, and you will find out that way self-care becomes easier. The third tip is be consistent and make it a regular habit. When practicing self-care, being consistent is very important. Not that you self-care today and then you self-neglect for 3 months again and all. Make sure that you are consistently doing this as a practice. I hope you have learned one thing or the other from this video, and kindly let me know what you'll be doing differently this month and henceforth in the comments section. And thank you so much for watching till the end. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel and share with others who may need this content too. Have an amazing time. Bye.